All right, free radicals of all shapes, sizes, colors, denominations, orientations, educations. Welcome back. I'm Dave, and I am the Radical Independent, and so are you. If you are watching this channel, thanks for the support. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell, and so forth to get notifications. Sometimes you don't even get those notifications. Also, if you'd like to contribute to this channel, I often put my email address in the description box of the video for PayPal. Now, I'd appreciate if you just use that email for that reason. I'm getting a lot of people sending me information over there. Quite frankly, I don't have the time to read it all and to answer all these questions and so forth. I run 3 of these channels right now. Plus, I'm kind of a family-oriented guy, so I really try to, devote time to my family in addition to these 3 video channels I'm currently running. This one and this channel also on Rockfin, which will have exclusive content over there and some new content. Probably will be uploaded there today or tomorrow, so be prepared for that. The media is done with Tulsi Gabbard. And when I say that the media is done with her, I mean they're done. This article, I've already commented on this. This came out about 10 days ago after the debate. And people were really, within the establishment, they're tired of her beating up on Mayor Pete, Kamala Harris. She tried to swing at Elizabeth Warren in one debate, but the commercial timeout, the drug company sponsorship, cut into that critique, which would have been really interesting. But quite honestly, Elizabeth Warren, she's actually destroying herself, so we really don't need somebody to get up there and kneecap Elizabeth Warren. And when I say that the media is done with Tulsi Gabbard, the polling that has come out where her name, CNN, MSNBC, they're not including her name. That nice poll that came out from the Boston Globe and Suffolk University, apparently that poll is not going to be accepted. Tulsi Gabbard at 6%. It appears she's again going to be one qualifying poll short of getting into the December debates. Now, when I say the mainstream media or the media is done with Tulsi Gabbard, you can kind of get that picture here when Senator Richard Blumenthal of Connecticut, a guy who I'm sure he'll be supporting Mike Bloomberg. I mean, Bloomberg and Blumenthal, I mean, it's almost the same guy. It's almost the same guy. And it's just really sad. Although he does say here Bernie has a coherent set of principles, and Elizabeth Warren too, but I don't perceive, no, he's not smart enough to perceive a fixed set of principles or a worldview on Tulsi Gabbard's part. No, you can't see it. Everybody else can. You and I can see it, and normal Americans can see it, but these entrenched politicians can't see it. And again, guilt by association. The Trump War Room tweeted out a video attacking Tulsi, because guess what? Trump might be right. This is why people only want anti-establishment candidates in the Democratic Party. They really only want those people. Now, there are the any blue will do, I'm brainwashed, I can't see anything except defeating Trump, Orange Man bad, the world is coming to an end, it's Biden, it's Mayor Pete. Look, Mayor Pete, I think, has peaked. Just when I said, by the way, Elizabeth Warren peaked, she peaked. She was done. The bobblehead routine that she does, although Amy Klobuchar does it too. No, Amy Klobuchar does the shake, and Elizabeth Warren is the bobblehead, like just constantly up and down. Americans want authenticity. They want somebody who looks focused, who looks calm under pressure. It's another reason why Tulsi Gabbard is such a great candidate. But, if you scroll into this article a bit, and I've already covered this, I think, from front to back, the they're mad. She secured a spot ahead of Senator Michael Bennet and Governor Steve Bullock. It's like, okay, more people are supporting her, so that's how she got in there. But the establishment does not want to see her anymore. Now, Bloomberg is not going to be on the stage because he's not taking campaign donations. So he can look like a hero and say, look, I can't be in this debate, but here's the thing. I'm not spending your tax dollars. I'm not asking you to send me money. So I look like this great philanthropist. And of course, he's going to talk about that. The foreign policy stuff, which I think has certainly got into the bloodstream of many Americans on both sides of the political aisle, they just cannot let go of this idea that we need to be empire and that sending troops off to war is just something we do. It's just something we do. And I side with like Code Pink on this. You know what I mean? That's how radical I am when it comes to peace. I want this to stop. Why do we have trillions? And again, if you're a fiscal conservative, and there used to be some of those out there, and a lot of the progressives hate fiscal conservatives because they believe that people need stuff and you have to spend money to get that stuff, and fiscal conservative people typically say balance the budget. Those people are gone. There are no fiscal conservatives. The Tea Party's done, right? Trump got elected. It's another reason I bailed on Trump, because Trump, just used a bunch of people to get to where he got to. And then, he honestly, he's governing, other than his language and his tweeting and the alleged racism and so forth, he's governing like a neoliberal. He really is. What is he doing that's not neoliberal? Because he doesn't have a bunch of regulations in place. I don't know. I guess neoliberals would put a few token regulations in place. They might toy with the tax numbers a little bit, like the top marginal rate. They might bring it up a little bit to look like we're really, cracking down on those big companies, but yet all the loopholes and everything else will still remain. Again, this is just a dog and pony show. It really is. And if you want real systemic change, you're going to have to vote for somebody who at least is advocating for that. And then you're going to have to elect some people behind them. They need some coattails. Tulsi needs coattails. Bernie's going to need coattails because, as somebody rightly said over on Twitter, you're sending Bernie every last dollar you have, and he's going to be stopped at every turn because he's going to use the S word, and people are going to hear that out loud, and Trump is going to just bludgeon him with that. That's why Tulsi doesn't use labels like that. And I keep telling these progressive candidates, stop using the S word. And they wear it as a badge proudly just to kind of give the establishment a certain finger on their hand, and I get it. You're mad, you're upset, you want to help the little guy, you want to stick it to the billionaires and the corporatists. I totally get it. But there are a lot of Americans that have drunk the Kool-Aid for decades, and they actually vote against their own economic interests. They don't see it. They see, liberal. They're just liberal, and I'm not going to vote for those liberals or those crazy progressives who use the S word all the time. By the way, I mean socialist. I wasn't talking about the other S word. And if you say it over and over again and you boast about it, eventually what's going to happen is people are going to say, you know what, it's too risky. It's too risky. I like the economy the way it is, or I want the free market, or I want some version of the free market. Both what Tulsi and Bernie are both advocating for is the free market with some controls in place. FDR style free market, whatever you want to call it. A hybrid economy makes perfect sense to me, because these people, they're not charitable. They're not good human beings. They keep it. They don't trickle down with it. None of this money trickles down to anybody, because if it did, you wouldn't have income inequality like you do now. It's a pretty basic concept. So, this video, though, look, I know people don't want me to be pessimistic. Again, I'm not trying to be pessimistic. I'm trying to be a realist. All right? I do this channel because I'm trying to communicate some level of truth and understanding. I'm looking at now a true Tulsi blackout, a true complete Tulsi media blackout, polls. They're going to talk about everybody. Again, another reason why more people jump into this race is so Tulsi Gabbard, she's going to get a smaller chunk of that media pie every day. You're going to hear her name less and less. She's really smart to go on Rogan. She's really smart to try to bypass and go on with anybody, Jimmy Dore, anybody with an audience, anybody where these videos can just stay up on YouTube, like the videos I make and so forth. You can just go back and watch it, tell your friends, and share it with your family and so forth. This is what you need to be doing. But the question is, like that guy on Twitter said, the establishment will oppose her, maybe not as drastically as Bernie, because I think there would be people on both sides of the aisle who'd be willing to work with Tulsi Gabbard to get things done. With Bernie and his crowd, I think a lot of people on both sides of the aisle are going to say, nope, no, he's too radical, even though technically he's really not. He's not that radical on foreign policy compared to Tulsi Gabbard. So what's next then? What do? We need a workaround. Like I said on Twitter, we need our own debate. We need an indie media debate. I've been saying this since April, and nobody has picked this up. Now, I don't have the means to do it. There are people who are funded, who have a ton of followers, who have a huge Patreon, who have, money and revenue coming in because their videos aren't getting demonetized and they're getting hundreds of thousands of views, whereas I'm lucky if I can get 4,000 or 5,000 views on a video. Very fortunate if that happens. So what you need to do is go around and start tugging at the coattails of people and saying, hey, you've got the means to... Jimmy Dore would be a good guy to talk to. Kyle Kalinske, maybe. I mean, I'm just thinking of different outlets that have a big following where, again, if you said we're going to go live, we're going to have all these candidates, we're going to ask fair questions, we're going to give them time to answer those questions. I don't think Tulsi needs the debates anymore. Anyway, that's part of this. But the big problem I really see is that they're not going to say her name anymore if they can help it. That firebrand from Hawaii, you're not going to hear her name anymore. And this is the plan moving forward. You'll hear about all the establishment candidates who are coming in, who are, making waves. And Bernie, you're next, buddy. It's bound to happen soon. Once they get more polling data on Bernie, because my guess is he might start to lead nationally or be very close to leading Biden nationally. As soon as that occurs, again, you got people like Barack Obama out there saying that he'll speak out against Bernie Sanders. Imagine the former two-term Democratic, basically the head of the DNC right now, the guy who's on top, although a lot of people still think Hillary is. I think Barack is the standard bearer of the party right now. Imagine him even privately telling people, you know what, if he gets too far, we're going to have to stop him. You know that this is a very uphill battle, and the establishment, they control it. They control everything. So again, I hate to be a pessimist. I love it when Tulsi scores political points. I love it when she speaks her mind. I think she is the best candidate to run for president in my lifetime. And it's just a tragedy that other Americans have been so gaslighted that, they're more concerned about our policy in Syria, keeping troops there, or thinking that we are the world's police force and we're a force for good around the world. Really? Just look at what we've been doing for the past half century. Destabilizing governments. You don't want crazy amounts of immigration at the border? Guess what? Stop destabilizing countries in South America. And then You probably won't have as many immigrants trying to get in. Refugees. We're creating a refugee crisis by our policies both over in the Middle East and in South America. Fact. Not me making it up. It's a fact. So you got to change foreign policy, and Tulsi Gabbard is best equipped to change foreign policy. All right, I'm done with this video. Thanks for watching. See you soon.